Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back in my YouTube channel.
I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement.
Let me introduce myself first. My name is Yesi Sari. I'm a student at Islamic State University of Raden Patah, Palembang. My major is English Education Study Program, and I made this video for TEFL methodology assignment. And in this video, I will show you about my answer from 5 questions. If you are curious, let's jump to the video. First question. Please mention and explain briefly the component of communication process. First is context. Every communication process with context. Broadly speaking, the context here includes all factors outside the people who communicate. This context may be physical, social, chronological, or cultural. The sender chooses the message to communicate within context. Sender can choose the content of the context that will be used to communicate. For example, when in communication process, a sender talk about Ampera, Pempek, Benteng Kuto Besa, or Gending Sriwijaya traditional dance, it means the context from that communication is Palembang cultural. Second, sender or encoder. The sender or encoder is a person who sends the message. A sender makes use of symbols such as word, graphic, visual to convey the message and produce the required response. Sender may be an individual or a group or organization. The third is message. Message is a key idea that the sender wants to communicate. It is a sign that elicits the response of recipient. Communication process begins with deciding about the message to be conveyed. It must be ensured that the main objective of the message is clear. In my opinion, message is the same as them in a speech. When someone wants to give a speech, the thing that must be prepared is them. When someone gives a speech without limiting them, usually the audience difficult to accept or understand the content of a message conveyed. So, as a sender, we must deciding about the message to be conveyed so that the purpose of the message is conveyed properly to the recipient. 4 is medium. Medium is used to exchange or transmit the message. The sender must choose an appropriate medium for transmitting the message, else the message might not be conveyed to the desired recipient. The choice of appropriate medium of communication is essential for making the message effective and correctly interpreted by the recipient. This choice of communication medium varies depending upon the features of communication. 5 is recipient or decoder. Recipient or decoder is a person for whom the message is intended, aimed, and targeted. The degree to which the decoder understands the message is depend upon various factors such as knowledge of the recipient, the responsive of the message, and the reliance of the encoder on decoder. And the last is feedback. Feedback is the main component of communication process, as it permits the sender to analyze the efficacy of the message. It helps the sender in confirming the correct interpretation of message by the decoder. Feedback may be Verbal such as word, non-verbal such as smiles, shy, angry, and it may take written form also in form of memos, reports, and etc. Second question. Why do humans need a language? Have you ever imagined in this world there is no language? How humans will communicate? Language is important part of human relationship. Although all species have ways of communicating, humans are the only ones who have mastered cognitive language communication. Language allows us to share ideas, thoughts, and feelings with others. By learning a language, it means that we have mastered complex word system, structures, and grammar to communicate effectively. Of course, not all communication is through language, but mastering the language can certainly make it easier for us to communicate with others people. Third question is please give the third question. Please give your opinion about the period Dutch period, Japanese period, and independence period of English teaching period in Indonesia. Which one do you think the best English teaching period? Okay, I think the best English teaching period in Indonesia is independence period. Because in independence period, Indonesia has been free to automatically every citizen has the right to get an education. Learning English in independence period is easier than the Dutch or Japanese period because we are still under the colony that we have freedom to learn. Although in this period we often experience changes in the educational curriculum, but it must in that be done to improve the shortcoming of the previous curriculum. Learning English in Indonesia, especially today, it depends on its own individual because when students learn English can only be at school, the result will not be effective. And if you want more effective result, the student should be included in English lesson because learning English there is better than at school. Fourth question. In your opinion, what is status of English compared to Indonesia nowadays? I think the current status of English in Indonesia is foreign language, which is very important because English is an international language or lingua franca. English is used to communicate with other countries and in various fields of education, culture, social, politics, and etc. As we know today, many schools or institutions use English as the language of instruction in learning process. This has proven how important English is in Indonesia today. The last question. Please explain briefly about the function of English in Indonesia. English has many functions in Indonesia, but its main function is to communicate in various fields such as politics, education, science and technology, and etc. English can also help advance human resources in Indonesia and help introduce Indonesian culture to foreign countries. Okay, I will closing this video. But before that, I'm so sorry if I make a many mistake in this video because I'm just human. And thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment,